We gotta go fast. So should I skip this or do it?
Do it.
Oh, here we go, okay. Let's pick up the action in a carnival. This is Mr. Flanders, who's like fundamentalist Christian. We've got, he's gonna have an encounter with the little girl, Lisa, thank you. Lisa, she's like 8 or something, and she's the smartest person in the show, by far, okay? Little Lisa. Lisa's gonna have a conversation with Mr. Flanders, who in this carnival is showing off his Jesus fish. Okay, here we go.
Mr. Flanders, how did you make these amazing fish?
Actually, God made some fish that were pretty close to these, so naturally we selected those for further breeding.
So that natural selection was the origin of this species?
Yep, that's exactly. Oh, you almost got me. Not on my watch.
That needs no comment, I don't think. Okay, let's move on. War of the Worlds. This has been done many times. I think this is the most recent, even though it's 18 years old. Tom Cruise, War of the Worlds, aliens, Martians come and invade Earth and suck our brains out. And the only way we defeat them is that they succumb to germs that we have immunity to. And they don't because they're from Mars. And so, holding aside the fact that in this movie, rather than have the Martians come from Mars and land, the Martians had came 30,000 years ago and were buried and rose up and decided that was the time to attack. It seems to me if they'd been on Earth for 30,000 years, they could have developed immunity to the germs. They didn't figure this part out in the main story, okay? I think they knew that we have ability to see Mars with high detail and anticipate an arrival if the aliens are coming. And so to avoid that, they just simply buried them in the sand without knowing this fact. Well, let's pick up the action where Tom Cruise, we're fighting the aliens, it's not working. Tom Cruise notices that birds are now landing on the alien, which means the force shield is dying. The aliens are getting weaker. And so he notices this and alerts the military action. Okay, the whole movie is that loud and that violent. So, you get the point here. So, our weapons finally worked. By the way, this movie had a narrator. Who was the narrator? Yeah, if you don't know, just guess Morgan Freeman, and you'll be 50% chance you'll be right. Okay. There was a beautiful end narration that just was so Victorian. The novel was written 1896. 1897, and so close, someone said 1898. It appeared in England first. They attacked London, not America, because the author is British, so of course. I will now read for you in my best Morgan Freeman imitation, the end narration of that film. From the moment the invaders arrived, breathed our air, ate and drank, they were doomed, they were undone, destroyed, after all of man's weapons and devices had failed, by the tiniest creatures that God in his wisdom put upon this earth. By the toll of 1 billion deaths, man had earned his immunity, his right to survive among this planet's infinite organisms. And that right is ours against all challenges, for neither do men live nor die in vain. So I said, that's beautiful. But then I thought about it and I said, would H.G. Wells, who was completely scientifically literate, have written this? Would he have? So I got the novel, okay? And these are 3 different covers. So they did a pretty good job capturing what they look like as they were described in the novel, right? In the 2005 version. So they're wreaking havoc on the world. All right. I found the passage. It was different. Here it is. War of the Worlds, 1897, the novel. For so it had come about, as indeed I and many men might have foreseen, had not terror and disaster blinded our minds. These germs of disease have taken toll of humanity since the beginning of things, taken toll of our pre-human ancestors since life began here. But by virtue of this natural selection of our kind, we have developed resisting power. To no germs do we succumb without a struggle. Directly these invaders arrived. Directly they drank and fed. Our microscopic allies began to work their overthrow. By the toll of 1 billion deaths, man has bought his birthright of the earth, and it is his against all comers. It would still be his were the Martians 10 times as mighty as they are, for neither do men live nor die in vain. All right, here's where we have it. God in his wisdom was God was inserted in place of phrases and words that come directly out of biology, evolutionary biology. And so, of course we know why they did it, okay? They don't want to offend the religious community who might be buying tickets to see the film. But at no time are they asking, are they going to offend people who want to see the original story? That's an interesting decision that gets made when these kinds of projects unfold, especially in Hollywood. And so my point is, no matter how religious you're not, you've probably seen religious movies like The 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston, right? That just came out, comes on every year. Depending what the time of the year it is. I've seen Jesus of Nazareth. I've seen The Last Temptation of Christ. What's the one where Russell Crowe's in it? No, not Gladiator. Noah! He's Noah! He's got magic powers too. I didn't know Noah had powers. Thought he just liked wine in the Bible. But the point is, I don't see them going through those same thoughts about who they would otherwise offend by saying God in his wisdom rather than the original text. And so I just worry for the future of civilization if people fear something that is truthful and accurate because people won't want it. And how much are we going to hide from the world? By the way, you can be perfectly religious, the entire Catholic world, okay, which accounts for the plurality of Christians in the world, are perfectly fine with evolution. Did you know this? I don't know if you knew this. Right? There are entire branches of Christianity that don't have an issue. And so I just, I don't know. I'm showing this to you so you know it's happening, more than to try to convince you of one thing or another. So just, there it is. That's what happened. So, let's move on. Time travel.